Pete and I will see if bank fishing is really more successful than carp fishing from a boat. I'm fishing from FNC1.
I'm going to take advantage of this dock to get my baits way out in the fish zone. He'll run out of gas trying to fish my water.
I probably have you beat already, but I'm going to try and up that.
This fish took off to Gore's Landing.
Oh, he's swimming out to the lake.
You got to play the game, folks.
Whoa.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Ram Trucks. Nothing works harder than a Ram. Stearns, trusted on the water since 1952. Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water. And Outdoor Canada, Canada's only national fishing and hunting magazine.
That's over 20 pounds.
Yeah. Today's show is going to be a real eye-opener for all of you anglers out there who thought about carp, or more correctly, not thought about carp as a worthy opponent in the man versus fish game.
That is just a great fish. Believe it or not, folks, carp are the new bass. In Europe, they're the new trout. Interestingly, here in North America, carp were once perceived as an invasive species. In the 1870s, German common carp were introduced to the northeastern U.S. as replacement fish for dwindling fish stocks on the Atlantic seaboard. By the 1890s, anglers were screaming that carp were destroying the habitat of their beloved largemouth and cleaning them out. By 1910, close to 10 million pounds were harvested out of the lower Great Lakes. To say these fish are hardy and prolific is an understatement.
That's the biggest carp I think I've ever caught.
Today you'll find carp just about anywhere there's fresh or brackish water.
Look at the friggin' carp here.
Ontario, and specifically the Kawarthas and the Trent Severn Waterway, are becoming internationally known for their carp fishing and have been attracting carp enthusiasts from all over Europe and in particular the UK. Rice Lake, although not officially a Kawartha lake, but part of it via the Trent Severn Waterway system, is a prime example of Mother Nature's sense of balance. Remember, at one time, people in the know thought carp were going to take over, but to the contrary, they have become resident members of an incredible ecosystem, providing habitat for bass, walleye, muskie, catfish, and a host of panfish. Over the next couple of days, Pete and I will see if the European style of bank fishing is really more successful than fishing from a boat. You see, in Europe and the UK, there's not a lot of boats, mostly because there's not a lot of water. Ontario, on the other hand, with over 200,000 lakes, has water that has never seen a fisherman, let alone a boat.
That being said, these avid fishermen have made the best of their situation and have become very successful at bank fishing. Their techniques and specialized gear are known and sold internationally. We have the fish, but they have the know-how. The basic technique used worldwide for catching these bruisers is pre-baiting or chumming promising water, preferably the night before, allowing carp to gather, then casting a hook bait into the area and wait for a strike.
Finding a spot that would work for both of us turned out to be really easy. How about out the back door of our cottage at Elmhurst Lodge? Essentially, right off the dock. From the shore, there's a clear flat for about 100 feet out, then a line of milfoil about 20 feet thick that stretches in either direction 300 feet. Like all fish, carp tend to hang around cover or structure of some sort for protection. So, with a little chumming on the weed line, we're in really good shape.
I'd throw the whole bucket out there if it was up to me.
Bank fishermen and boat fishermen too set their rods up on little stands called pods. They set their strike alarms, grab a comfortable chair, have something to eat, read a book, and generally kill time until the alarm goes off. Then, typically, all hell breaks loose.
Yep, he's in the weeds, but you know what? He's moving. He's moving a little bit. So I'm gonna work my way down towards the shore here. Let's see what I can do with this fish. My line, it is so far out. There's a chunk of weed on it. It's ridiculous how far it is. I mean, something may come loose, but this is a great situation for braided line. Heavy braided line. You run some light stuff here, you've already lost that fish. He's already broke off. Look at the clump of weeds, but that's a pretty good carp, actually. He was fighting those weeds more than he was fighting my bait. Now, let's see what I can do here. Put that there like that. Come on then, big boy, like that. And there, Bob's your uncle. Look at that, perfect hook as usual on a carp. Should pop right out like it does. And this is probably a very typical, whoa, right like carp. There he goes. Couldn't get the hold of him up after all that. Let me see what Ed says. Hey buddy, did you see that show? Took me forever. I got him on one of our little plastic corns, little fake corn, and a big pineapple corn. So if that's any indication, and he had it hooked perfect. Over.
Thanks for the intel, buddy. I'll give it a shot.
Good enough.
Oh, he's swimming out to the lake. Nasty weeds there. There he is. I gotta love this carp fishing, man. And nobody's doing it.
Today we're going to talk about what we're using, rod pods and bank sticks. Carp fishing in Canada is still in its infancy, so many anglers may not have even heard of these tools. But in Europe and the UK, they're as common as rods and reels. This gear is primarily used by carp fishermen, but any angler who still fishes with bait would appreciate this equipment, especially if he or she can legally use more than one rod at a time. This allows you to sit back and relax while you wait for a strike. The bank stick is an extendable rod with a pointy end that goes in the ground, some kind of locking mechanism to adjust the height of the extension, and a universally threaded female receptacle at the other end that typically holds either the rod or a bite alarm and rod. The butt rests on the ground and the rod rests in a pair of forks. A rod pod, on the other hand, is a fully adjustable rack for holding 2 or more rods, complete with bite alarms and butt rests. Fishermen on piers, wharves, rocky shorelines, or boats prefer the rod pod for its stability. Have a conversation with the pros at Sail to find out what setup is best for you. The beauty of a boat is its mobility. If fishing is slow in one spot, Ans can move to another. He's essentially got the whole lake to work. He can use electronics to chase the fish and settle in new areas. He also has the advantage of being able to use just about any rod he has on hand. He doesn't need the long rods like I'm using, and can let Carp pull his boat halfway across the lake. Angelo has a challenge on his hands because he won't know which way the fish will take off with the hook. Ange is fishing on the other side of the weed bed facing me and is casting into our chummed water. He has to be careful because unlike shore fishing, he doesn't know which way to set the hook. The fish may be between FNC1 and the shore, and a hooked carp could make a beeline right towards the boat.
Yep. Oh, he's swimming out to the lake. Whoa. Come on, baby. He took a run right straight out. Nasty weeds there. Nasty weeds. Oh, wow. This thing's up by the boat here somewhere. There he is. Come on, baby. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna lift him right up in. Be a lot easier on both of us, especially me. Woo! Look how fat this fish is. From the top here all the way down the bottom. That's a real girthy carp. Gotta love this carp fishing, man. And nobody's doing it. Okay, here we go. Back home. Whew. Peter, you there, buddy?
Yeah, big man. What's up?
Yeah, I just released one. Boy, they're chunky out here. I don't know whether you're getting the big fat ones in there or not, but holy smokes, they're great. And they're getting into those weeds, and I'm trying to pull them out. Have you broken any off?
No break-offs, but I do know what you mean about the weeds. Strong fish, eh?
Yeah, well, for sure. Without braid, you'd be lost, man, for sure. Yeah, they're getting tangled up pretty good. Anyways, I probably have you beat already, but I'm going to try and up that. Good luck.
Ah, so this is a derby, is it? Okay.
Did you know that Ontario offers some of the finest carp fishing found anywhere in the world? Well, according to the doc, our very own Gord Pizer, we're sitting on an international gold mine of freshwater game fish and didn't even know it. When the World Carp Championship was held in North America for the first time in 2005, over 110 teams from all over the planet showed up to fish the St. Lawrence River. We're the envy of the carp fishing world because we can catch as many carp in one day as European anglers catch in an entire season. More and more Ontario anglers are giving it a try. You only have to catch a 20-pounder once to be instantly hooked. Relatively speaking, this is an untouched fishery and it's free for the taking, unlike some prime spots in Europe where you have to pay sometimes exorbitantly for the privilege. It's no wonder that Ontario is the #1 destination for carp enthusiasts all over the world.
Awesome!
If you want to have fun on the water, you have to try carp fishing. Just another reason to go fish in Ontario. There are a few benefits and drawbacks to the fishing techniques that we're using today. Pete's using a much larger carp-specific rod necessary for casting long distances from shore.
Look at them out there jumping.
I'm fishing from FNC1, our modified Princecraft. Since I've got a much shorter distance to cast, I'm using a regular spinning rod as well as an 8-foot heavy bait caster. Everything else is pretty much the same, including the braided line for weeds, as well as the baits, rigs, and location.
I'm going to take advantage of this dock to get my baits way out in the fish zone. I can cast so far with this long rod that he'll run out of gas trying to fish my water.
Angelo and I we're just having a blast here today. And it shows the versatility of trying to get these fish, right? The versatility of techniques.
Oh, he's way up there somewhere. I'm bringing up half the bottom of Rice Lake with me. Whoa. Whoa. Thinks he's a big northern. Net on this guy. I'm gonna have a closer look at him. Boy, this guy's got a lot of bright orange around the tail end and the bottom of his body. That are neat. How are you, buddy? I'm not as mean as you think I am right now. You'll know why here in a second when I put you back. Like right now. Whoa, see ya. Goodbye. Peter, come on in, Peter.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Yeah, I just, well, I was gonna say I released, but actually the fish released himself out of the net, over the gunnel, in the boat, about close to a 20-pounder. Big fish.
You mean one of those slippery, strong fish encounters. You need a tighter grip, buddy.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear on that. Gotta tell you though, I've had the bait caster on now for the last little while, and I'm starting to become a believer. I think it can be done regularly as long as we've got braid on them. I think it's great.
Well, anyone would use anything but braid in this situation is crazy. There's no way I'm changing.
Roger that. I'll see you shortly.
Today's great carp fishing took place on Rice Lake in southern Ontario. The waypoint on your screen will get you right there. Pete set up on the cottage property at Elmhurst Resort, while I pulled down the Princecraft about 100 yards offshore. Rice Lake, along with the rest of the Kawartha Lakes, is known as an all-round fantastic fishing lake, including carp. We pre-fed the area with boiled corn to draw fish in. Next, we cast out either sweet corn, extra large flavored corn, as well as pineapple boilies on various slip and bolt rigs, and waited for our bite alarms to start singing. We feel carp fishing is here to stay, so why not join us in seeking this great sport fish? For more hotspots like this one, check out fishincanada.com.
Yeah, look at that. He's up on the surface already. That was awesome. That fish kicked it up good. That was awesome. Now, if I can hold that fish out of the weeds, I'll have a much better fight with this guy. Look at the weeds coming in. This fish took off the Gore's Landing. But look at the weeds on him. Look at that. There's where the power is. But he's fighting. See, I can't even enjoy the fight because there's so many weeds on here. Look at him. Yeah, this is a good fish. This is not bad. Wow. Nice. Okay. I'm off the dock. Just get these intermittent clouds. I don't know if it means anything when the fish are going to bite or not, but okay, here we go. Turn around, big girl. Look at that. I think it's so thick, these fish. That's the intended species right there. Angelo and I we're just having a blast here today. And it shows the versatility of trying to get these fish, right? The versatility of techniques. Look at that. Wicked fun. Oh, what a fun fish. And these quarter fish are such a good looking fish.
Well, we had a great day out in the water. Pete did a little better than I did because it took me so much longer to pull these bruisers out of the weeds.
And that's a good one.
On my strikes, the fish were running away from the shore towards the boat and into the weed line. Having a lighter rod didn't help with that process.
That is so much fun. Thumbs up, brother!
Roger that.
This show does point out a few things. Fishing for and catching carp is fun. It's a great way to experience success on, and in this case, near the water.
To get to today's outstanding carp fishing, we took Highway 401 east from Toronto and then headed north on Peterborough Road 28 at Port Hope. We next turned east on Country Road 2 through the town of Keene, and then turned south on Settlers Line, which took us to the beautiful Elmhurst Resort on Rice Lake.
On today's KLP, we're going to deal with the P factor, presentation. And this species, unlike anything you've ever fished before, requires a totally different set of tools. And here's some of the stuff we're going to use today.
It can be very intricate, by the way. It can be simple or intricate. We like to use corn to begin with as our bait and as our feed. You feed an area like a spot like we're in today with kernel corn, but the key to this is you have to pre-boil this corn or soak it for at least 24 hours because then it makes it soft and it breaks apart like that. When you buy this stuff, it's hard and it will expand in a fish's belly. They'll still eat it, but it'll expand in their belly. It's unsafe. This way, when you boil it, it expands in the pot, and then you take it out there, you can feed it, and it's perfectly safe for the fish.
Now that's what we use to attract the fish to an area. But then once the area's been amply stocked, shall we say, and there is a limit to that too. That's a fine art in itself,
Exactly.
knowing how much food to put out.
You can overfeed it badly.
For sure. Once we've done that, then we use corn out of a can. This one is peaches and cream, and bait them on a hook.
And the other things you can use with these are artificial corn too. So it's nice to have a rubber corn, maybe a pineapple corn, and a couple of these corns. Believe it or not, all these flavors, these fish really have a good sense of smell and taste.
You can really load up the tackle box with different scents,
right.
flavors, sizes, and you name it.
Absolutely. And you get to some of this other gear. With these new bite indicators, this thing, when a fish takes off, you know you're going to get bit right there, that's for sure.
You can also get sets like this where you can have multiple rods on a bank, or in today's case, I'm going to use this on the boat.
And just because there's 3 rod pods doesn't mean you have to use all 3. You can remember there's only 1 rod per person you're allowed in these inland lakes.
You've heard us say a million times that the most important factor is location, locating fish, because if you've got great presentation and lots of knowledge on the species, but you're not sitting on fish, you're not going to have a great day. Well, this is kind of different because in carp fishing, you could be sitting on a million fish, and if you don't feed them what they're looking for, forget it. This is a whole different game.
You got that right, buddy.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Sail, the Canadian Outdoors Superstore, Coleman, the Outdoor Company, Cooper Tires, life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. And Princecraft Boats, dominate the waters.